All right, Mama G here, and
Olivia.
Olivia, my pretty princess, the first granddaughter, premiering in Mama G and Olivia, cooking together. And this is week 4 of our webinar series. So you hate to cook. So let's cook once and enjoy more than twice. And that's what the premise has been the last 4 weeks. We had Asian night, we had Greek night, we had Italian night. Do you know what tonight is? Mexican night.
Mexican night.
Do you like a Mexican food? Yeah, it's fantastic. So the problem is that sometimes we can choose food that's not so healthy. And what happens when we don't feel so healthy? Did you just say?
We get stomach aches.
We get stomach aches, and then maybe we can't grow so big and strong and get big muscles. And then
I had some 2 times.
You had 2 stomach aches from what? What did you eat that made you have a stomach ache?
One was a shake, and then my mom forgot the other one.
Oh, a shake. Well, maybe you needed a little bit of shake and not too much of a shake.
But we had to have all of it. We had to finish it in one day.
No, we didn't have to. So tonight we're going to make a cheesy enchilada casserole. So my family loves enchiladas, but I'm going to tell you what, enchiladas are painstaking time consumer. Rolling each one, all of that going on. So we're going to make it all in one big bowl, put it into a casserole. And because Mama G servings are typically 6 servings, you just portion it out into 6 portions and voila, you go off. So tonight, we're not going to eat this, but I can make this tonight and eat it for the next 5 days. I can heat it up in the oven. But if you're cooking for tonight, put your oven on at 425 degrees. And then what you're also going to do is take your 13x9 dish. I don't really care what kind of dish you need. You'll see that this will kind of fill up the pan nicely, and then you can actually, section it into 6 portions. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that you're able to portion it well. So something like this that's flat and lets you, see what portion sizes are will be more logical. So Liv, do you want to use your hand and move that oil around, or you want me to do it? Okay, so take your hand and rub it all over it, into the sides as well. Okay, perfect. So we're oiling this up because we don't want one morsel of this delicious casserole to stick, because then we don't get to eat it, right? We want to eat every little bit of it. You've got a kitchen towel right next to you. So when you look at Mama G recipes, and you're all going to get an updated recipe for all of you that are participating in this webinar series, we're going to talk through it, but we're using Trader Joe products because so many people enjoy Trader Joe's. They have, lots of what you need, and it's kind of a one-shot stop, but you can buy your ingredients anywhere. All right. We're just kind of highlighting Trader Joe's right now because one of the things we want to do is not have so much prep, right? You guys are like, oh, like I gotta cut, I gotta do all these kind of things. It's like, okay, take it easy. Everything's good. Even Olivia is a good chopper if somebody teaches you how. So Mama G and Olivia are going to teach you how to do this. So step 1, we've got our oven on at 425. We want it pretty hot. Second off, we've got our 13x9 or even your 11x7 can be oiled and ready to go. And you could just I used olive oil. You can use avocado oil. You can use canola oil. All of those things are liquid oils, and all of them are potentially heart healthy. Again, moderation using these oils to enhance the cooking process and the flavor of our foods. We're going to start baking right now. So we're going to do a couple things. We got to prep the vegetables. So Olivia, the pretty princess, is going to start cutting our zucchini. So I'm going to show her what to do. And I recommend this for anybody of any age. You got to teach people how to participate. So we have 2 kind of larger zucchini. We want about 15 ounces of about a pound of zucchini. And here's what you're going to see. We have 3 pounds of vegetables between our onions, between our zucchini, and between our bell peppers. That is 3 pounds of vegetables that I promise you never consume. And we're trying to up the nutrition, up the volume of your meal, and we're going to add all kinds of flavor with these vegetables. The key is how they are prepared, how they are cooked. So cutting up our vegetables is step 1. I was able to buy cut up onions, which I think it's people's nemesis. It's like, I don't want to cut onions. Well, guess what? Mama G got diced onions for you. So you don't have to do it. This comes from Trader Joe's, and I'll put money that you could probably buy this at most stores nowadays. So I bought 2 packages of this. We're probably going to use 1.5, and then you could use them for tacos or whatever else you want to do. And then we've got 3 peppers, but I'm going to do a little weighing and measuring because I want to be able to better tell you if we need all 3 of them. So here we go with the start. So Olivia, Mimi wants, you're going to see our hands are in the opposite of what we are. We couldn't figure that out. So we want to take off the stem. So holding on to your zucchini, we're going to cut off the edge. See how Mimi's got it there? Perfect. And then guess what we're going to do with this? We're going to compost. So we'll put this in Papa's composter in a minute. And now we're going to turn it around and we're going to cut off the other edge. Okay, hold on 1 minute. Yeah, I know it's kind of funny. Hold it with your left hand, cut with your right hand. Because you're right-handed, you're going to always cut with your right hand. Perfecto. Now we're going to make this really easy. Now Olivia may have a different technique than Mimi, but I want to show you all how we're going to cut this up. And Olivia can choose to do it how she wants. The key is we want little tiny pieces because this would normally be in your enchilada. It's not like a soup.
I was baking like this with this plant. And
I know she cooks, she does this with mud and plants.
And I did it so tiny.
I know you did. So Mimi's going to show them and then I'm going to give this to you and you're going to cut the rest of the way. So you're going to dictate how many little tiny dices as opposed to chunks, as opposed to whatever size you want. So I want this small. And so I'm going to take my zucchini. I think you can see me fairly well here. I'm going to come this way and I'm going to cut it 3 times across. All right. So I'm going to go halfway because it's round and kind of dangerous. And I cut 1 cut and I cut another cut. And then Liv's going to finish this off. Then I'm going to turn it this way and I'm going to do it again. 1 cut, and I'm going to show you in a minute, and another cut. So now you can see basically I've got 9 pieces. So now as we, let me put it down here for you. See those 9 pieces? Right? So now as Liv comes out and chops this way, we're going to have nice little pieces. So Liv, left hand holds it in place. Right hand is going to make little pieces here. Oh, hold on. Little pieces there. So I want you to hold this a little closer. All right. And little pieces there. And then as you get closer, you move your hands. Perfect. You see this talented young lady. So Mimi's going to do that again. That's okay. Yeah. Be careful. Good job. So again, get your dice situated here. I don't know if this is a little trigonometry, a little algebra, a little geometry, but there's definitely math involved here. So you're going to see that I'm going to just toggle off of here. And in a minute, I get all these nice little dice pieces, and I'm going to push them aside as well. Good job, Liv. Now let me have that back, and I'm going to cut you these pieces to cut. So again, here's the other half. We're going to keep our fingers away, right? We're going to keep them away. And I'm going to cut these for Liv, and then she's going to cut them up for me. So now I've got my 3 pieces, and I'm going to take this because it's a smaller end and cut it in half. And now Liv is going to cut those little pieces again, right? Little pieces across. Perfect. All right. Yeah. So yeah, you keep that hand on there. So if a 4-year-old can do this in about 5 minutes, folks, there ain't no excuse for you big folks out there, right? So I have a little more dexterity. I'm able to hold this all together. And again, for all of you, right, I'm kind of holding this in a bundle, toggling off of here, and I'm just mowing through this thing, keeping my fingers out of the way. It's kind of tumbling down here. So again, I'm just going to come through, get my little pieces in, and voila, we have nice small dice of our zucchini. Livia, you are doing fantastic, my love. Okay, now there you go. You can do the rest of these one at a time. And then Mimi's going to keep talking. All right, Mimi's going to take a little water. Really encourage my clients and you to really consider drinking more water-based beverages throughout your day. I always tell my clients a cup, a mug, a glass. I don't care the size of it. At every single meal and snack, water, tea, coffee. Don't make them in the milkshakes. Seltzer, flavored water with a little lime, a splash of juice, whatever, and then carry your water bottle around as well. And then guess what? Drink it. When you have a cup, a mug, a glass of whatever during your meals and snacks, your stomach can only hold so much capacity. So guess what? You will be full sooner, which means what? you will not overconsume calories. All right, so strategies. All right, look at her. Fantastico, perfecto, so proud of you. Oh my goodness. All right, look at that. Between Liv and I, within a few minutes, took care of business. Now, Liv's gonna help me again. Now, because of the skin on this and because she has a kid's knife, which we bought on Amazon, really easy to find these things nowadays. Not like back in the day when we had to search store after store after store, although it was better because you definitely didn't spend as much money. But I want to show you how I do a pepper. I like to go around. So regardless of what I'm doing, I'm going around, all right, the white, the pith, they call it. See it? I'm looking at the seeds inside. I can't really show you this, but I'm trying to leave the inside of my pepper. And we'll put this on the side so I can see what's happening. But look what happened, right there. So now we're going to throw this into the compost once we can reach it. So now we've got these pieces. Now I'll tell you what, sometimes I will roast pieces this size right here because it's beautiful. Little olive, salt, and pepper. I would do peppers, but I usually will roast red, yellow, orange peppers. I think they're a little bit sweeter. For a Mexican meal, I always use green bell peppers. Now we want to cut these up because this is our dice. And I'm going to show you, Liv, and then you can see, all right? So first we start with strips because we want to get the same size as our zucchini, right? We want everything to be the same so everything cooks similar. We certainly wouldn't want like, right, big pieces of zucchini in here, right? I mean, that would be illogical because then these wouldn't be cooked and those would be cooked. So we want to keep everything the same. Now, Liv, if you can, do you think you can cut those up for me in little pieces?
Yep.
Perfecto. Mommy should come take a picture of us because it's so cute. Now, you, my friends, I'm going to cut these into strips. Again, this is dictating the Julian size that I'm doing is dictating the size of my chop. Of course, Mommy can't take a picture because I'm using her camera. And we're going to just keep coming through here. All right. So I do more of a, I would say, a slicing motion. But when I get to this, I'm going to get my pile together, right? More dexterity in the adult, but you might be like Liv, or you might need to do one at a time. And I'm going to toggle again. Toggling here, right? Moving my fingers out of the way. I'm kind of holding my pile together. And, you know, in a moment, I make quick work at this. Now, I'm going to do 3 peppers because realistically, this is going to be about a cup of peppers. And we know that that cup of peppers is about 15 ounces. We don't have Liz in here, so this will fill it out. But keeping cup of this is typically about 5 ounces. And we really are trying to up the nutrition. That is why you'll see in Mama G recipes for your main meals, lunches, and dinners, that we need to have a lot of vegetables. Most of the time, you won't even, be able to acknowledge that there's vegetables in there. You'll see them, but you'll enjoy the flavor so much that it just becomes second nature.
Sometimes find babies.
We do sometimes find babies in here, don't we? All right, fantastic. Look at you. And let's do those as well, please. And then we're going to move over and do some serious cooking over at the stove, right? All righty. It's so fun to cook with you. So Liv and I are going to try to think of a name for our cooking together. And so if any of you come up with an idea, it's going to be fantastic. And then we're going to start cooking and baking. Livia is a big fan. What show do you love on TV?
Kids Baking Championship.
Kids Baking Championship. So we actually, what did we make for Mimi's birthday? Do you remember?
Mud pie.
Mud pie. How many did we make?
2.
2. What were the differences?
One chocolate and then one vanilla.
Okay, so what kind of crust did we make? One crust was made from Oreo cookies, right? So white chocolate sandwich cookies that we ground up in the food processor. And then what was the other one? Do you remember?
Other one?
Yeah, the other one. Did we use chocolate cookies in those too? No, we didn't. We used something like a vanilla cookie. I can't remember what we exactly used, but something like that. Maybe a graham cracker. I can't remember. Oh yeah, we use the white stuffed
Oreo.
Oreo types. Yeah. Okay, finish that off, please. And then we're going to get going over here. So as I mentioned, we're going to see if I can do this with my hand. Need my kitchen shears. So in 2 minutes, I could cut these onions up. Not really a fan of buying bagged onions because they're more expensive, but Mama G, Olivia's Mimi, can knock out these onions in a second. Look, smell those. Do those make you want to cry?
Nope.
And Olivia cuts onions herself, but we talk about things like not keeping your nose over the onion, right? Like that. Otherwise, it'll make your eyes start to cry. Okay, let's go over to the kitchen stove. All right, let's go over there. All right, let's take your bench. Oh my goodness. Okay, we don't need the knife, so you can leave the knife where it is. And you can stand right here.
But don't touch the stove.
Don't touch the stove. So we're going to turn the stove on. All right. Ooh, that's fancy. So Trader Joe's carries. Let's see if I can get you guys. Got it. Okay, here we go. Trader Joe's carries this oil with this squirt on top. So I love it because I could just judge a little bit of oil because, you know, I have a clear understanding what that looks like. But we're going to go ahead and measure 1 teaspoon of olive oil. That's it. You can use canola oil as well. But olive oil has really been touted to be heart healthy. And again, using it in moderation, using it in our cooking, why not go ahead and just, you know what we're going to do? We're going to turn this handle to you so that you know that's as close as you're going to get. Why not use olive oil when we have the opportunity to do it? So let's see if I can see if you can see Livy and Mimi. So we've got our olive oil in here. Now we're going to add our vegetables, right? So one of the things we need to, what happened? Oh no, it's called a little gnat likely. So I'm a big fan of the Dorat garlic already minced. You could buy this at Trader Joe's. You certainly can buy this at other places as well. And they have things like the garlic and they have basil. They have some things, but you can hear the nice little sizzle. All right. The only thing you touch is going to be the wooden spoon, Olivia. And what else? This. The wooden and the handle. So I'm going to go over now and get all my vegetables and then bring over our onions as well. So as I mentioned, I want about 15 ounces of onions. So we're going to use 1.5 bags.
This keeps spinning.
I know it does. So let's add the vegetables in here. Now, can you bring that container of salt? Can you reach the salt or no? Okay, now take a pinch and put it in there. Yeah, there's Liv's pinch. Here's Mimi's pinch. Now remember, vegetables have only naturally occurring salt. Same thing here. Let's add some pepper for seasoning. So I like to keep kosher salt and a coarse ground pepper on my counter. We're also going to add the 10 ounces of onion. And then we're going to add about 1/2 bag of the onion. I know you're like, holy smokes, Mama G. Isn't this a ton of vegetables? But do you know what the vegetables do for us, Olivia?
Yeah, but no.
Well, there's a little bit of protein in this. But let's talk about what else it gives us. It gives us, oh, you know what? I want you to, I'll hold this and you stir with your right hand and don't touch this. Good. And you know, you can hold this. There we go. It gives us a great amount of fiber, which is so important for our gut health and reducing our risk of colorectal type cancers. It gives us a ton of flavor. It gives us vitamins and minerals and antioxidants and phytochemicals that you just can't get anywhere else. You can't get it in a pill, my folks, like you can get it right here in your, out of your fresh vegetables. So other than that little bit of olive oil, right, a little bit of fat in there, we want that. That's imperative for so many body systems. We've got our garlic, we've got salt and pepper, and we're going to let this cook a little bit. So hold on a minute. Let me just give it a good stir because we got more things to take care of, okay? And we're going to come back to this. All right, so we're going to set this right here so it doesn't get hot. And now what we need to do is we're going to add a little bit of cumin. So cumin is a great Mexican spice that adds tons of flavor. And Liv's going to sprinkle it right in there. Good. Oops, let's just hit it on. Let's do this without burning ourselves. Right? Okay. And we'll go ahead again. Let me just give this a little stir because it's getting pretty hot. You feel the heat now? Yeah. And we want this to cook for a little bit, but let's have a little bit of a conversation. And Liv, every once in a while, you can give this a stir, but we want it to cook on the bottom. So one thing I want to mention is that this is a big skillet. This is, I don't know, 15 plus inches. It has a cover and I love it. I buy it at Costco. I've mentioned this before. When it's on sale, I buy it multiples because I like to give them away because I think it's such a great cooking utensil and you can just use it for so many things. So again, we want to talk about the quality of the food choices. So we're going to use black beans. Trader Joe's does carry a low sodium or no sodium. Nothing in there because I already drained them, right? I'll show you where those are. But immediately we can rinse this out, which is what I did, and got rid of all what we call the aquafaba, the bean juice. And we have already gotten rid of a large amount of that sodium, but you can buy at other stores, low sodium, no sodium. I'm a big fan of just buying no sodium and then guess who gets to add a sodium? Mama G. The other thing that we're going to be adding is Trader Joe's enchilada sauce for ease. Obviously, it tastes delicious, but again, there's a considerable amount of sodium in here. And so what we really want to understand is that we want to reduce the amount of sodium in our life because of so many issues with heart disease and stroke and high blood pressure. But if you look at the overall quality of our food, we've already got a low sodium meal compared to what we are getting when we're buying the more processed, ultra processed, highly processed foods that we are seeing when we are getting takeout or boxed items that are already prepared for us. So when we go back to the basics, stick with our one ingredient foods, we can add foods that have more ingredients, but still get a higher quality meal that still tastes fantastic. So we can already see this is kind of breaking down. That salt we added helps to draw the water out. So that helps us to saute, allow the vegetables to cook. So let's just make sure we know what's going on here. We've got the olive oil with the garlic, the onion, the zucchini, the peppers, the cumin in here. We're letting it soften for 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever you got going. We're going to end up stirring the enchilada sauce in. We're going to fill the enchilada sauce up with about a half the bottle, stir it up, get all the stuff on the inside of the bottle, waste not, want not, and then we're going to add this in here as well, and then we're going to add some yogurt. So let me grab those things right now so we can show you what that's going to look like. We've got some other things we need to be adding in here. All right. And we're going to add enchilada sauce. We're going to add yogurt. We're going to add some water. And then we're going to add everything else that comes with this. So let's go over back to our spot because we don't need to be here anymore. Head on over there. You see the steam? I know, right? I'm so glad you're learning about kitchen hygiene and safety all at the same time. All right, so Mimi's going to bring this over here. Now, this is hot, so we're not going to touch it. All right, so you can see it in all the cameras, right? And we don't need this one anymore. Stop video. There we are. Okay, so you got the handle right there. So let's look at the recipe so Mimi knows what's happening here. So let's go ahead and pour these black beans into here. Yeah, turn it like that. Shake it, shake it, shake it. Perfect. Shake it, baby, baby. Let's go ahead and I already shook this up. Pour this in there, but don't touch the pot. It's hot. Good. Hold on to it and let it all drip, drip, drip out of there. Let it continue to drip. All right, I couldn't only find a small container, which I normally would buy the larger container. This is the Greek non-fat plain yogurt. Why not full fat? Why not low fat? Because I'd rather spend my fat elsewhere. We're using the saturated fat in the dairy product. Why not use more cheese in a cheesy enchilada casserole? Kind of makes sense to me. I think it should make sense to you. Yeah, but you love it in this. Now, give this, I put the lid on, shake, shake at the bottom. Shake, 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 shake. Good job, Liv. Okay, shake it a little bit harder. Up and down and sideways. We want to get all we can. Perfect. Now let's take the lid off, and then you can pour this in there. All right, pour that in there. We need 2 ounces of Greek yogurt. And for some reason, I should tell you how many tablespoons that is. So I'm going to do that for you. I'm going to tell you it's probably a 1/4 cup. So we're gonna simplify this recipe for all of you. Mama G clients just usually use weights. Yeah, you're going to put it in for me. And this is just over 2 ounces. We'll take out a little bit. Perfecto. Now tap the side. Tap, 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 tap. All right, you can use your finger to get that out since we have clean hands. All right. Well, let me get my spoon.
I don't know. I hate yogurt.
That's too bad. Olivia, when she was weaned at 6 months and she was about 3 years old, she ate everything. Now Olivia is picky Olivia, right? So mix everything together.
I'm not a picky girl.
You're not?
I just don't like yogurt.
So we have our veggies. We've got our black beans. We've got our yogurt. We've got our enchilada sauce. And our last move is going to be cheese. We're not using the cheese at this moment, but let me do a little measurement for you. Again, we'll come up with the recipe specifically for you because I want to make sure you know how much you get. This package is 12 ounces. It's about 1/3 of a package. You get 4.5 ounces. I'm trying to get you as much cheese as I can. And so let's get the 4.5 ounces here for you. And then, whoa, woo, we had a conundrum. All right, it's all good, babe. Okay, so here's all of this right here. Now, we're going to move this out of the way. We're going to clean up our workspace because now we got to get the chicken done. Now, you can buy shredded chicken, rotisserie chicken at Costco. You can buy it pretty much anywhere, but at Trader Joe's, they have all kinds of chicken, which is so funny, but they don't have shredded chicken. So this is cooked chicken breast, but I think the pieces are a little too big. So Liv and I are going to, we could just do this right here. Thank you. We're just going to, you know what? Why don't we just do this ourselves? Or you can cut it up. Would you rather use a knife? Okay, so let me give you the big pieces. All right, and then Liv's going to chop these up into smaller chunks. I would love this to be shredded, and some of it is, but I'm going to just do it by hand. Liv's going to cut up these pieces into smaller pieces for us. But again, thinking about the vegetables, keeping them in more bite-sized pieces. That's gooder. That's perfect. I love that. You can take chicken breasts with the skin on, put them in the oven with a little salt and pepper. You can spray them with olive oil just to keep it a little more moist. Cook them at 375 degrees, 350, 375, depending on how hot your oven is. And probably about 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how big the chicken breasts are. You can use a meat thermometer. You want to get it to 160. But when that chicken is done, number one, slice it and use it for dinner. And then the extra chicken, you can shred it. People will take chicken breast pieces and put them in their, not their food processor, their blender, not the blender, like I have a KitchenAid, a mixer of any type with the whisk or paddle attachment. It's the paddle attachment. And you turn it on, don't go crazy because it'll be flying all over your kitchen. But if you do it for a few minutes, pulse in your mixer, I know with the paddle attachment, it will shred up your chicken into little pieces. So there's some fun tips for you. But again, if you do your own, you can shred it yourself. And again, I like to save money. I like to not waste. But for all of you who are joining me for this, so I hate to cook, Mama G's is trying to make it easier for you to cook once and enjoy more than twice. So this is a meal that could be frozen once you're portioned it. But tell you what, I say you eat it, share it, eat it several days that week, warm it up in the microwave for about 4 minutes or so, and you're going to be a happy camper. So now we have nice pieces here. So when you're done, you can put it into here. Perfecto. I'm going to help out a little bit. Keep going there. So again, depending on where you shop, we pick this stuff up at Trader Joe's. You know, you have options out there, but the goal is food that is as close to how it came, right? And then we get to season with spices, salt and pepper, and then we end up having a meal that is not no sodium, but just enough sodium to really give you a beautiful, delicious, and nutritious meal. All right, and the last thing we got to do. So we're gonna, instead of wrapping our enchiladas, we're going to take 6 corn tortillas. God bless you. Good thing we're all related here. Now you can cut that tortilla up, but I'm going to cut this in pretty thin strips, keeping those fingers out of the way. And then we'll go in like 1-inch chunks, because wouldn't it be nice to get a little bit of tortilla with every bite, all right? If you think about most Mexican restaurants or chicken enchilada recipes, they are typically sauteed in oil to start. So again, we're just a little behind the 8 ball with all that fat. We're going to get fat coming from a saturated fat source, which is the cheese. But again, moderation on those things that can still give us nutrition, but allow us to really increase the flavor profile. Now, can you pick up all those tortillas and put them in here? Good job. Yep. Put them in there. Do, 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 do. I'm going to put the chicken. Do, 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 do. Okay, well, I'm going to mix it right now because it's pretty full, and we don't want to get any more food other than in the pan. But Mimi's going to, yeah, you can help me. Let's get it all together. Oops, hold on a minute. I'm going to help you. You're going to help me put it in the pan. Hold on. Okay.
Why can you do the store and I can do the store by myself?
Oh, I know, because Mimi has a little bit more what they say is dexterity. You know what dexterity is?
I have that too.
You know what that is?
I have a little bit more of that too.
Yeah, as you get older, you're going to have more and more dexterity, which means you have more control over your hands and your body parts. Now, all right, we're going to be nice. Okay, all right, I'm going to take a little taste. All right, so we're going to give this a little salt and pepper. You give a pinch, Mimi's going to give a pinch again. Remember, everything we're using is low or no sodium. So we really, you know, have the capability. Let me have it for a minute, and then you're going to put the cheese on top of everything, okay? Now, if this was a cast iron or an oven-proof skillet, this could go in the oven. But because it's not, and I want to put in the baking pan, we're going to do that. All right, I'm going to set this aside for a minute. We're going to get ourselves situated. Don't back yourself up. All right, Olivia, here we go. Going to put this in front of us. Here's the spoon, Liv. Hold on to that. Right-hander. Mimi's going to use all her muscles. Sorry for the pot. To your back. All right, get it all out of there. All right, Mimi, have it for a minute, because the pot's getting heavy for me. And then I want you just to spread it out without knocking it outside of the pan.
When you touch me.
I did? That's so funny. What did I touch you with? Perfect.
Ew.
Now, here you go. Was my hand warm?
I don't know.
I don't know. So this is a 13 by 9. So this is perfect. Now you take your hand, take a handful with your right hand and sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle all over even. Now, here's what happens for Mama G clients, right? My female clients who are on a calorie budget, you'll get 1/6 of this. And you don't need anything else. You can put some pickled jalapenos on there. Trader Joe's carries a sweet and spicy, hot and sweet jalapenos, delicious. You can put a little hot sauce, salsa, whatever floats your boat. That's perfect, Liz. I'm gonna just move it around a little bit.
Why do you say Liz?
I made him. I know.
Liz could be my nickname.
No, you're Olivia, the pretty princess.
Olivia, the pretty
So,
princess.
but for the husbands, the men who get bigger portion sizes because they have higher metabolisms, more muscle mass, they can add more cheese. They can add avocado. They have more leeway. But for you women out there, 1/6 of this is going to be perfecto. I say I need spicy hot stuff on top of this. This is going to go in the oven with a, Liv, hop on down for me a minute. I like non-stick foil. If you don't have non-stick foil, I suggest using a little cooking spray, olive oil like I had. But I like the non-stick foil because then the cheese won't stick to it. I'm going to cover this up with a non-stick side. And then when I'm ready to bake it, I will. You could put it right in your oven if you're doing that. And then you will put this in the oven for 30 minutes, remove the foil, and then put it in for another 10, 15 minutes until it's bubbly and a little brown. If you need to, stick it into the broiler. But at the end of the day, 6 servings of a beautiful cheesy enchilada. Quick and easy with Mama G and Olivia. Enjoy.